Make your voices be heard. Call us, text us. Kaieteur Radio 99.1, 99.5 FM. The Wake Up Guyana Show.
Win $100,000 monthly with Sleepy Sanitary Pads. Sleepy Sanitary Pads are all natural and are made with cotton and bamboo fibers. It is dye and lotion free, hence no irritations or rashes. Sleepy Sanitary Pads are available in two sizes, ultra thin and thick. It is affordable and available nationwide. See press for details. Visit our Sleepy South America Facebook page or call us on 233-2473.
Welcome once again to the Wake Up Guyana Show here on Kaieteur Radio. I'm your host, Leonard Gildarie, and we're coming to you live from our studio here in Saffron Street, Charlestown, Georgetown. And wherever it is that you are, I want to say good day to you today because it is a beautiful day. And not only that, you've been keeping us company day in, day out since several months now. So I want to say good day to you. I hope that you are having a wonderful day as I am. I'm very positive. You should be too because this is the Wake Up Guyana Show and we're coming to you so you could be able to uplift your lives and you could be able to be better educated, that you could be very much aware that we could be, could have citizens who have the capacity to demand more, to ask for more because we deserve more. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, please do happen to have a good day. Whether you're rocking in a hammock, if you're in the kitchen cooking, if you're out on the road driving, if you're in the factory, if you're in the office, and I know that you're tuned into the Kite Show Radio here, right on the Wake Up Guyana Show. I want you to know that it is going to be a very good day. It is going to be a very good year for the rest of the year because we are very positive, and that is a thing that I really want to, for us to start thinking. It's not the end of the world. Things might look a little bleak. Things might look a little dark on the horizon, but there is light at the end of the tunnel, and you would have to start, pushing at those lights so we could be able to get it done. So, in the meantime, it is. Let's move right into the hang of things as normal. And when you're doing plenty things here, radio is a different thing from television, and so you have to keep thinking all the time. And it is Thursday, November the 12th, 2020, and there are a number of things that we want to talk about today. I was looking, of course, last evening at Glenn Lala, the Glenn Lala show with Dr. Yog Mahadio. Dr. Yog Mahadio is going to be with myself tomorrow after lunch on this program, the Wake Up Guyana Show. We people have been asking for him to, drop by, say hello, and so on. He was here in the studio yesterday, and he is going to be back tomorrow as well on the Wake Up Guyana Show with myself. And we're going to have some chit chats there, talk to the people a little, and see where it goes from there. Not sure. He seems to be missing you guys. There's a couple of things that we have to talk about today here. One, watchers under arrest. I'm going to tell you a little about that. Bartik attempt to have solar power plant, deleted records at GRA, and that is linked to a very big case on the investigation right now. Oil and gas chief fired, and so these and a couple of other things that we have on our agenda today that we will expound upon, that we will expand upon today as we go forward. But of course, it's not about us, it's about you, the people of Guyana, because we want to share with you, we want you to share with us as we try to make this country a little better. And by making it better is just by raising your awareness of what is it that you deserve as a people in Guyana. So with those few words, we are going to be headed straight into our Kaieteur newspaper today. It's Guyana's largest selling newspaper. And on November the 12th, 2020, this is what the headlines are saying to the people of Guyana. Belgium Coke boss deleted scanner image still being recovered as extension granted to hold GRA staffers. And let me tell you what's the implications of this story here. There is a big drug bust in Belgium. In Guyana, it was linked to Guyana. The container came from Guyana. One container put inside another container and shipped there. The issue here, a number of GRA staffers are in custody. That's because any containers that leave Guyana, they have to be scanned. There is a special facility here on Lombard Street with some big machines, X-ray kind of machines that take pictures of what is inside the container from outside. It could tell you what is inside, if there's any shapes and any particular thing. And so specialty trained officers there who are supposed to pick it up if any kind of strange things in those containers. When the investigations went to GRA, they can't find the images of that one, but they find the images of other containers that this same ship was sent out. So GRA staffers have been detained. They are in custody because they would have to explain, and they would have to explain how this passed and who deleted those images. The funny thing is, on GRA's system, if anybody goes in, whether it's Gildarie, whether it's Glenn Lal, whether it's Yoke Mahadio, you have to you are being reflected as those persons who goes into the system because you have to log in before you do anything. So it is going to be interesting to see where this case goes. I'm a little more worried not about the drugs or anything else. I'm a little more worried, and hear me very clearly. If you could put in or you could take out, you could put in stuff too. So things could happen. People's accounts, people's taxes could be played around with, and all kinds of implications there. And so I would want to talk to GRA. This is not the first time that this has happened. There was a recent drug bust in another place, I think somewhere in Europe as well. And a company here, a rice company, was implicated. When it was later found out that the drugs did not leave from here, here the issue is it went to some other places, but somebody had to know that it was coming from Guyana. The drugs went into that. The issue that we have here, that is, our sources are telling us when they went to GRA records, something happened there, so I'm not sure. I'm not too very happy. And this would have come one day after, a few hours after I would have interviewed GRA. I want to see our systems work. I want to see systems that are rigid, that are working, that we could put our heads down on our pillows at the end of the day. We could sleep soundly knowing that our regulators, that our supervisors, our managers are taking care of our businesses. When these people work at state entities like the Guyana Revenue Authority, they work for the people. It's a service that they are providing. When they play with our services, it's time for you to be fired. I don't want to hear anybody think there's no excuse. If you allow it to go, it went under your watch, there has to be repercussions. So somebody head has to roll for this, and I'm hoping, I'm praying that GRA takes some very strong decisions, and the decisions are going to send messages to all and sundry. When it comes to our systems, when it comes to our records, it has to be, because we fight in here tooth and nail for our revenues to be protected. And when you're playing around with that, I have absolutely no apologies in saying that somebody has to pay the price. So at the end of the day, let us make it very, very clear, as regulators, as managers in charge of my business, and it's the business of the people of Guyana, it's your business as well. If you don't want to take a chance, or you don't want to take charge of your business, I am going to take charge of my business, because at the end of the day, the monies that comes into this country, it fixes roads, it pays teachers, it pays doctors, it pays so many other persons. And I want to ensure that I collect my revenues. And when you don't do that and you take bribes and everything, it takes away from my standard of living that I have to live here. So this all this thing here, but collection of revenues and our deals that we have going on. When people call me and they ask for things or they want some kind of help or so, if we could collect the right amount, if we could do the right thing and manage, we don't have to be begging anybody. I saw recently it took 22 million US dollars from IDB so we could fight our COVID. We have monies. We have 150 million dollars in our bank account somewhere in New York there. We have monies that we could get if we strike the right deal or if we get a little better something here and there. But I leave that up to Glenn Lal. But at this point in time, it's up to all Guyana to be talking to it. And so GRS staffers, very, very sad story here. I don't like it, and I think all Guyana should be very, very, very upset. This job does not belong to you. You're serving the people. You did not deliver. At the end of the day, I think you should lose your job if it's found that you're responsible. Exxon's continuous flaring is a breach of contract, international lawyer Melinda Janke, and it comes back to, we are worried when we see big rains, lots of rains falling. There has to be because of climate change and a whole bunch of other stuff. The scientists say so. Gildarie does not say so. And so when you continue flaring, sending poisonous gases up in the air, it is going to have an effect on our climate system there. And so Exxon is doing that, and they're saying it's a breach of the contract. Why you continue to do that? You're not allowed to do that. Who is allowing Exxon to do that? And the department head, Mark Bino, sent packing. And this is one of the, it is creating some raised eyebrows out there. But guess what, at the end of the day? At the end of the day, if Gildarie can't serve the purpose in which he is downstairs in the Kaieteur newspaper for, I think Glenn is going to sometime or the other have to part company for that with him. The reason for that is that he was hired for a specific purpose, that is to write stories, to manage, and whatever else duties is assigned to him. If he can't deliver at the end of the day, he would have to understand it's the end of the road. The door is there. He'd have to leave. If not, he's going to be fired. And so there's a new government in place, and the new government believes that Mark Bino is not the right person to head our energy department, which is in charge of managing those oil companies and whatever else it is that they do there. And so government part company that says, look, I don't believe that you're up to it. Maybe something that we could look at, but at this point in time, we are going to be looking for another head. So we are going to continue to pay attention to that story. West Coast Berbice murders, $3 million reward. Leads to 7 new arrests, and this was would have been those very shocking cases of the killing of the teenage cousins down there in the West Berbice area. And so let's hope that there's some charges being laid. I don't want the police to charge anybody who are innocent, but there should be solid cases being made out against persons who are accused, whose actions would have sparked angers and protests and led to the deaths of a number of other persons. And they burned the roads up in Berbice there, and they destroyed our property. Because we have a bunch of irresponsible people here, but also the persons who would have carried out these dastardly acts. They have to be brought to justice because the family demands it, and I demand it as a citizen of this country too. And I think by extension, the rest of Guyana would be demanding it. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, is the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio. And so no free COVID-19 tests for travelers at government facilities. And let me explain the story here. If you're coming into this country, or if you believe that you have COVID, the government right now offers free tests at the facilities at the Georgetown Public Hospital, along a number of health centers across the country. If you're coming into the country and they believe that you have been exposed again, before you come here, you have to take a PCR test, which is a COVID-19 accepted test, the one that they insert up your nostrils and take those swabs. You have to pay for that across there. If you live in the country now, that's another story. The living of the country is on your own accord. It means that you are going to go about on business and so on. Why should the state be paying for a test? Because these are the rules now. If you're leaving and you got to go to another country, they will demand that you take the test. that you present tests which show that you're clear, free and clear. Many countries would be demanding this. So Guyana's government, the government of Guyana is saying very, very clearly, look, we're not the ones to be holding the bill at the end of the day. Therefore, whatever, if you want to leave the country, you pay for the test. We're not going to pay for it. Fair enough. I see no issues with that. We should not be paying for things that it does not. I understand we're all citizens here. At the end of the day, the line has to be drawn very clearly in the sand. What is it that we can do as a country? What is it that we can afford? Maybe if you have a lot of money, like Saudi Arabia and Dubai and those other places, the story is going to be different. As of now, we don't have a lot of resources. The resources have to be shared. And these are the realities that we have to live with. Have no problems with that. Postmortem reveals no sexual assault penetration in infant who died at the NA hospital. Thank God. I was thinking, I did say it is impossible for something like this to happen. The doctors are assessing to determine the actual cause of death. Parents released. These are two parents, the two mother and father of a 4-year-old who died, and the story that came out from the hospital. There was some suspicious things around the baby, private parts and so on, and that they believe there's some sexual penetration. Where there was an investigation. I'm thanking God that none of the media houses would have been naming these people, because it would have been the end there. But at the end of the day, baby has died, so there's going to be trauma for those parents. They're not going to forget it in a hurry. I hope that the doctors are able to determine. And why is it from the inception that we couldn't have determined this? But so many questions here, and we should be asking it. So evidence was sufficient to convict Nisa Gopal killers. Appeal court hears murdered. This is the case with when the mom and the dad and her boyfriend were accused of having this child, her daughter, killed. She was strangled in the car which the mother was sitting, and they were handed some hefty sentences. They've appealed it, and that matter is riveting Guyana to the High Court right now. And the prosecutors who are in this case are saying, look, in the High Court for this appeal, that the evidence was sufficient. That's why they were convicted. So let's see how that case progresses. We're not going to say anything much, because that matter is before the court. It would have angered Guyana over that brutal killing and the dumping of the girl's body, the teenager body. She was accused student in a suitcase weighted down by dumbbells in a creek along the highway. Murdered as Quebo, 16-year-old, stabbed 20 times, had endured relationship with 34-year-old alleged killer due to poverty. Very, very sad stories here. At the wharves, the government officials visited the wharves yesterday. That's because we have 5 new, I think it is, a number of new engines, which next year is going to reduce our dependency on some very old engines that we have in Guyana to bring power to the people. You could recall most of those engines that were installed by Wärtsilä until a couple of years back. They're years old, maybe some of them more than a decade old, so they need to be changed out. They've come to the end of their life, their life here, but we have some good engineers there working, managed to keep them running still. So we're looking forward to these couple of engines that we buy. It's almost a $50 million project. It's going to be a new power plant, install at a new power plant at the Garden of Eden site. Very early next year, it's supposed to be completed. So those engines are in the country. It's going to not put an end to blackouts. What it's going to do is it gives us capacity. It means that instead of one car that we have 2 or 3 cars. If one breaks down, there's another one there. We still have some other issues that we have to solve in the grid right now. Transmission lines, old posts, old transformers, a whole bunch of other things that is so very critical to proper electricity in this country here. So very quickly, let's go down. GPL is looking for a new boss right now, a new CEO, and we understand. And this is, and I'll talk in on another story here now. You could recall Accelerated, that company there that's been accused of running a Ponzi scheme. Well, the principals were charged several charges, including money laundering charges, and they wanted to pay back the 17,000 persons who would have fallen victim according to prosecutors, to this fraud here, this Ponzi scheme, that they wanted to pay them using cryptocurrency, which is digital currency here. And the Attorney General Anand Allen says it's not a legal thing again for you to pay on like that. So let's see where this case is twisting and turning at the end of the day. People are complaining. This case here, relatives admit to assisting DUI driving, beating cops. We're beating cops right now. The right place is before the courts. You can't beat cops. The President Ali promises a retooled service-oriented public service. This is a very important story. The Public Service Appellate Tribunal have been sworn in. Justice Nandram Kisoon is there as its chairperson again. And I see members, I think it's Haider Ali, as well as Attorney at Law Abiola Wong in is also there. And let me tell you why this story is important. For some time, this body is the one that if you're not very happy with something that happened to you as a public servant while working, whether they've transferred you, whether they're not giving you your promotion or something, this is the body, the Public Service Appellate Tribunal, that you could appeal your case to. And it was designed there for you not to have to go to court. It was designed there that they could handle the matter, rule on it, and so you could be able to have your justice. It's very good. These are the bodies that were formed. It's the constitutional bodies, and so that are there so that our people could be protected. So are little bodies like the what you call it, like the Public Procurement Commission, like the ERC, and so on. All these bodies are there to protect the people, or are supposed to be protecting the people. You would know over time a lot of these bodies have been coming under fire because they have not been able to do their job, or they really drag their foot, or they just not been operating. And so this is not what you want. They've been given lots of money. GCOM is another regulator. So what happened to GCOM? What is happening there? We had over billions of dollars being given to them, and it is not a good thing. So let us see what happens here. Deportee jail 70 years of Parika fuel dealer murder. So we are going to be tuning in right now to, it is about 1:30 it is, and it is a better value for better protection, because your insurance time. Get your ship and cargo covered with us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regenton Arnock Street to better serve you. You can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. You could follow us on Facebook for special deals for all your insurance needs today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. And so at this point in time, let me tell you that we will be opening our phone lines in a very short while. Please start sending us those messages on 62222. Whatever is bothering you today, whatever it is that you want to say about your government, 100 days in office, have they delivered? The president says, yes, we have delivered. We have liberalized the telecoms industry. We have removed VAT on several things. I'm going to tell you a little about VAT and housing materials in a very short while as we continue to bring some clarity to this issue about construction materials and wherever it is that is bothering you. But we want you to send us those messages to tell us, what is happening in your neighborhood. Maybe you just want to say congratulations to somebody, to the government, or you want to criticize the government, or you want to criticize the opposition, something. Whatever it is, something is happening in your community. This is the Wake Up Guyana show, and it is your time. It is your place to tell us a little bit about it. But before we head to the lines, I want to tell you a little story. And the little story here has to do with two prison officers. And we have a statement coming out this morning from the police, and it is talking about this story here about two prison officers. Let me read it to you. I'm not going to say anything else. On the 11th, this is November the 11th, between 10 o'clock and 10:15, prison officials at the Georgetown Prison, Luzaknan, conducted a search of the Luzaknan prison barracks at the Cecil Kilkenny Training College at Luzaknan, East Coast, Demerara, which was occupied at the time of search by prison officers Quincy Gemot, aged 34, of Schoonard, and Sean Allert, 39, of Fort Ordnance, East Bobis, East Kanji Bobis. Both ranks, both of them working at the Lusitania prison. During the search, a black plastic bag was found in a cupboard under a sink, which was opened in the presence of the two officers, and it contained two large transparent Ziploc bags containing a quantity of leaves, stems, suspected to be cannabis. It was handed over to the police, and they weighed, and it was about 890 something grams, almost 900 grams. That's some really serious pounds of coke, marijuana there. Both ranks were placed under close arrest. So you want to know who's selling, who's getting the marijuana into the prison? Well, it's big business, and it's something that's been happening for years and years and years. Can't stop it because there's only one way to get it in. It's not over the fence. It's through the front gate, and there has to be more than one person who are all time involved in this. And so, at the end of the day, when you see things happening, um, uh, when you see things happening, you should look at the persons who are in charge. There's somebody has to know. Somebody always knows. So I leave it up to you there. I think we would have covered all that we have to cover there. We will be discussing any and everything that you want to talk about here. So it's 62222. I want you to send those messages on the WhatsApp, or if you just want to text, it's okay. I'm going to read them. I'm reading as much as possible. Sometimes the number of texts that we get are many, but we do happen to we are going to try as much as possible. So it's 226-7453. Do we have a call online? We want you to start calling us right now because we want to hear what is it that is affecting you, what is it that you're feeling happy about, because this is your show. This is the Wake Up Guyana show on Kaieteur Radio, 226-7453. In the meantime, let's go straight into the messages, and when they get a signal that there's a call online, we are going to head straight into that. So let us see what we have here. Um, okay, let me see. Good afternoon, my brother. Keep up the good work. I just want to ask a question. What is the government of Guyana doing about the oil situation? They can't put a stop to it and make it, and let Exxon make it right. I'm not hearing anything about that. That's my concern. Very good question that somebody from overseas is asking. The question is all lost that we can't be able to do something with ExxonMobil, maybe appeal to the conscience, maybe look at whether everything was really legal. I mean, if you're signing a document, there's an agreement on the table there. When I would have been looking at Glenn last evening about what his thoughts are with some of the things as a businessman, he says he's not very clear to whether this thing here it's a done deal, whether we legally how it can be addressed, but it will be explored. But at the end of the day, you have a company here, and when you would have seen if one deal is if this everything they drop into come to Guyana, and very early in the game, a certain portion of the or a certain section of the Guyanese population is saying, look, we're not too happy, we believe we should get something else. There has to be something that we could appeal to as a people that could give us something a little more. There's nothing wrong with us asking. In fact, as a party, as the owners for these resources, we could ask, and we should ask, because when you look at the rest of the world, like the Saudi Arabias and the Dubais and Iran and Iraqs and so on, have they got a good deal? Have they been able to do it? Libya, and you could go on and on and on. When these companies, these countries have it, they demand that they get a fair deal. Is it too much for us to ask? And that is what the story that is coming out here. I wish to remind teenage girls in the wake of their scribble stab, and if you're 19 years old and below and have a boyfriend, you've lost the real purpose in life at the age. This is coming from overseas, sorry, a local guy, at Maklu. Thank you very much for that, my brother. Well, there's two things to say there. A lot of people would say, maturity and so on. I would always say, I sit down at the end of the day, I talk to my kids, and I say to them, concentrate on your schoolwork. I wish that I could have afforded, I could have gone and do my degree, become a lawyer or something. I always wanted to become a lawyer, and it's still not too late, maybe sometime or the other. But I tell them a good education is good, because when you don't know, when you're poor, when you don't, you're not exposed to the world. A lot of stuff could happen. Poverty is a very bad thing. How do we lift ourselves up out of that? This is where the leadership of this country comes in. This is where the opposition comes in. They're part of the government as well, whether we like it or not. They're part of the legislative arm of government. They're part of the government which stands up and says, look, I want to bring to the people's attention this and this and this is not going right. Whether they have the credibility or not, that's another issue, but their role is basically to bring the people's attention to what is happening. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, all countries should have a opposition that is very strong, that should not be objecting or being in opposition for the sake of being in opposition. When you dare, if there's some kind of things that could help this country, if there's a legislation that is there that is going to empower all Guyana, protect all Guyana, there's nothing wrong with you giving your, how you say it, giving your protection, giving your endorsement to things like that, because you're all one and the same when it comes to Guyana. Do we have a call in line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Hello. Yes, I think we would have lost that one there. It is 226-7453. In the meantime, let us see what are some of the other messages. That is true. You always wanted to become a lawyer. It's not too late to be able to reach. Thank you very much for that. Hi, Leonard. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for keeping us informed every day with the situation again. I just want to clarify what date and month that the NIS deposit money to the Bank of the Overseas Pensioners. I don't know this. I'm going to try to find out. Let me just write this down. Date of deposit. I think it's at the end of the month, date of NIS deposits. I'm going to try to find out this. I don't happen to have those information on me right now. Somebody says hi. I'm going to say hi to you back again. Hi. Okay. Okay. Somebody's saying hi. I want to say hi to you. Up to now, Region 5 can receive the $25,000 and they're not telling the people anything. Well, they've not gone to Region 5. I definitely know that they are not in Region 4. I know they're making preparations for Region 4 for the $25,000. When I get the information, I'm going to pass it over to you folks. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm living in Sand Road. I think somebody would have sent this message already yesterday. I did read it. Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Is it possible? I really like to talk to you. Yes, you could call me maybe after the show. Downstairs 225-8491. 225-8491. And they're going to hook you up with me. Do we have a caller on line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Leonard.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to find out something, man.
Mm-hmm.
This $25,000 COVID money, right?
Uh-huh.
You got people living downstairs a house and people living upstairs separately.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a possibility that the downstairs can get separate 25,000 and the upstairs?
I am not sure how we've received some well, not I would say complaints. We are receiving reports of situations occurring. I've been trying to get some of the officials onto this program here, but they're saying that they're a little busy. And there's been a very little information in terms of press releases coming out. I think they're keeping it very, how you say it, protected the areas which they're going in, because you're talking about cash, people walking with cash and so
yes, yes.
So they're not really talking, but they're turning up in areas and they're doing the stuff with regards to how much areas are being completed and how much persons are being paid and what percentage and so on. Like that issue that you brought up there is one of the complaints, that the upstairs, like if there are many tenants or there are a number of tenants.
They're not tenants. There are two sisters, one living downstairs and one living upstairs.
They are going to, right about now, in this first rounds, based on what I was told.
But, they said that they got some pink people, they're going to put up some.
Yes, that was what was said.
But they didn't do that.
Well, I'm not sure what happened, but if it is that somebody is making a claim.
And the next thing that they didn't go over to the person's house. They called him from the neighbor house.
Which area is this? Which area is this?
Yeah, Hague Jib this morning that happened.
Jib.
Hague
This East Bank Essequibo?
No, West Coast Demerara.
West Coast Demerara. My apologies.
Hague Jib.
All right.
That's the village before Cornelius.
Okay, and the people are still there?
No, they're gone already.
Were the NDC people there?
I don't know who was the people in charge, but there was the people going on with the police, and they went to the people, the neighbor house, call over the one of the sister, and she get and she telling the girl who looking after the Indian girl, and she said only one body can get for the house. The lady, she told she that there's a next sister living downstairs with her grandson. And she live by herself. She getting old age pension.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna continue because we are receiving that. But remember also, we're not getting a lot of information coming out from the government with regards to this. That's because the situation is still ongoing. We have to wait until I think they're assessing how it's going before they issue a statement stating that we've completed Region 1, Region 2, and so on. At the first rounds, they are going to issue somebody to the house that 2 persons within the house can get or are not supposed to get. So we are going to continue to bring it. I want to have some clarity on it.
But I know that they say when if they give, they would fill up a paying form, and then they're going to get back to you later, but they didn't do nothing like that.
Well, it's not late. When I say later, it's not within hours. They will come back, It takes a couple of days. In fact, I don't think they've gone back to anybody with those pink slips because I think there's some decisions that has to be taken at the cabinet level, at the government level.
But they even full the pink form.
Well, that's another issue too. Like I think you guys ask the people them to visit the NDC in the area there and make the complaint, file a complaint. Okay. Because the NDC, I understand, is playing a role in this entire distribution.
But I want to make another complaint too. But I don't want to give my name, right? Because sometimes I could be jeopardized, right?
Okay.
I work in a security firm.
Yes.
Right? And since 2017. And then I pay NIS. They cut in your money, then I pay the only.
What is the name of the security firm?
Sentinel Security Insurance.
That's the one on Lamaha Street?
Right.
It used to be cops before?
Right, correct.
You sure you went in and you asked NIS and they're not paying it?
I go to NIS and I said I'm paying no money in the for you. I went to the security firm. They issue a letter to me like a record of service. I take it to NIS and then put in 26 to 2018. The company started from December 2017. That month wasn't there.
You need to have a visit to the Ministry of Labor and make your complaints.
Ministry of Labor?
Yes, you do, because they're investigating those companies right now.
There's
a dung breakdown there. You need to file it, yes. Ask if you could see the minister, you could see the minister. He's a very serious man.
And then the next thing now, when you're working with them, they're taking long for pay.
Well, that's because, you know why? They're waiting until the government pay. Now, if you open a security firm, you're supposed to have some cash in your hands.
Well, the government did make a statement like that, but nothing has been done.
Well, the government, if the government didn't pay them, they can't pay the people. But they got to make sure, if you're hiring people, you got to make sure that you have money in hand to pay the people.
Yeah, before you get the contract, you're supposed to have some amount of excess money.
That's correct. That's the way that I know how. It's like that.
When you get your money from the thing, you have to pay with your money.
Yes, that's like the rice millers. What is happening? Right.
They ain't doing nothing like that.
You need to go to the Ministry of Labor and Breakdown and file those complaints and let me know how it goes on. There's not a new thing that you're telling me there with security companies. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. And it goes on and on and on. These companies here, they don't understand that if you have a fiduciary responsibility, you have several responsibilities. When it comes to opening companies, and like I said before, you have two extreme situations. One, you have rice millers. You have some rice millers who would take the money or take people's rice or paddy, and they would send it out to the country, collect the money, and then after they wait a couple months and they do whatever they got to do, they give the people their part. I think a couple of years back there was the passage of new rice laws or new laws which protect farmers, which gives the rice millers a limited number of days in which they would have to pay those farmers. And so I think in one case it was 45 days. And if you owe them beyond those 45 days or so, you have to pay interest. That's on one case. That's for them I think the rice millers were being accused of using people's money to finance their business. That's what you're doing to the rice farmers. On the flip side of that, if you're opening a security company, you know that the money ain't gonna come right in. You got to submit bills, and then they got to do up a check, and it takes a couple of weeks. Why should the security guards be the one who are gonna have to be paying those penalties? Now your jobs at this, or your contracts with government and so on, with security firms like Sentinel and the rest of them, who have contracts, are dependent on government giving them contracts. What they do, keep on all these security firms, on security employees with them, and then whenever they get paid, sometime or the other, they pay them. You're supposed to have maybe an overdraft in a bank or something, that when the end of the month comes, that you take that money, you pay them, and when you get your checks, you utilize it to take off your overdraft. But in the meantime, plenty of persons, because these are poor people, they don't have anywhere else to turn to, and it goes on and on and on. A vicious cycle, a few vultures for security companies, and they keep doing that and that. And I'm wondering to myself, why is it that NIS is not taking actions? Why is it that GRA not taking actions? That you're taking out money from people's salaries, and you're not remitted to NIS. NIS is supposed to step down. Is somebody corrupt there? Somebody being paid off? What happened to the inspectors? They're not paying attention. Somebody has to pay attention there. So in the meantime, do we have a call on line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You're there. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, Leonard.
Good afternoon, sir.
Why you really hard to get me, tell you.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's difficult.
Whole 2 weeks now, I try. Phone they're ringing all the time, and you they're talking the story, and you understand.
Yes.
You not get through, buddy.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Leonard here, buddy. My call from Region 6.
Region 6, Barbies.
Whim. Yeah, buddy was he's a paralyzed man, you hear?
Uh-huh.
And I must thank my government. What he have done for me. Look, no, the 61 year now, you hear, buddy?
Yeah.
And in this life, the father been a vote for this party all this time. And all my life, they vote for PDP since a dragon title and left school at the age of 18 years. And they end up in this accident and they paralyzed in 2002, 19th October.
Yeah.
And body in I walk no way. I get public assistance.
Uh-huh.
And you know when this government advertise, announce this thing from Kaieteur radio, I listen to this thing, that they're going to pay every household at $25,000 for this COVID relief. They got in front of me all the time, they pray, and they say, Father, let them people call me house because you know my situation and me there.
Uh-huh.
And you know, by the name of Jesus, I got my money.
So you got your money, very good.
I got a small house and the people and didn't pass me. I living at Wimwire Dam, near the police station.
Mm-hmm.
But you must thank God and give praise to this government where it was sin. They vote for them people. Listen, eight trip now, they vote for them in this life. And to this time, none other president never ever give nobody nothing. Let me tell you, the 61-year-old March will come, I go done 61 and go 62. But Father Jesus help me that although I'm sick, I live to get something from the president. And I buy the mirror paper and I read every week. And I know regular going in this country, my poor body, I don't get television, I don't get water in my in the current. Battery radio, I listen to your program with.
Thank you very much, sir.
And you, our command.
All right, so no problem. I think we've taken note of what you said there, and of course we're not political here at the newspaper. We don't care which government is in place. The rule of law is very important.
On my behalf.
Yes.
I'm not talking against nobody.
Right.
I'm not a politician, but I'm a paralyzed man.
Very good, and it's good. It's good that you still have you know what I like about you. You have a very positive spirit there, and it's coming across the radio to me, and I like that.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
Bless you. Leonard, that work where you see you are doing on the radio station, you better try hold on and pray to God like your health and strength. I never know nothing. I don't know not going in this country.
All right. Thank you very much, dear sir. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
Yes,
keep that attitude up. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, buddy. You too.
Good. Bye-bye. Bye. So I want to say good day to the folks down in Berbice there, Wim, Albion, and Hampshire, wherever you are, Nig, I want to say good day to you, Rose Hall, Port Morant, number 43. I would have missed several there, several places there. I think Blackbush Polder, you go down to Skeldon, Corriverton, Crabwood Creek, Molson Creek. Want to say good day to the good people in those areas. And very quickly, let us see some messages our good people would have been sending. Hi, Leonard, listening to you when the different leaders come on in. And I might add, what the hell is an individual? Let me see. When that hell of an individual comes in, became very emotional last night while explaining the kanji block. Last night, no holds bar program, plain and simple. Leonard, Mr. Glenn Land, among men, a good man. Thank you. This is Mike James, and he was tuned in with Glenn Land last evening. Thank you very much. And so I'm gonna make sure that I tell Glenn about that. My brother, my name is Ramesh. I'm listening to the gentleman who called. It's sad to know that all Guyanese are doing things like this. How could we get the head when we're doing all kinds of things? Every company and Guyana needs to be held to a level of responsibility. Don't forget the Connecticut, U.S., and so the person is calling all the way from Connecticut, U.S., and not only Connecticut, all the way all across the United States of America, Canada, Europe, the Caribbean here, or neighboring countries. Wherever you join us from today, as I know that you tuned in, I want to say good day to you. Keep it up, and thank you very much. It's always good to have you with us here. You might not be physically with us, but of course in spirit, and I know that you guys are warmth is coming across to us here. Somebody is saying hi. Let me see what they're saying. Good day, sir. The Jasso Primary Nursery School of Metamirzok says, parents, please pay up your school donations for the new term. It's $2,500. You could bring it this Friday. Thank you. And I can't afford. What must I do, sir? Well, is it a nursery school that is public, or is it a private nursery school? And did you try to raise the issue with the school that you can't afford the $2,500? Let me know. Keep me posted on that. God bless you, Leonard. Thank you to the Kaieteur News family. Thank you very much there. Mr. Gildarie, the COP Security company is aligned to the PNC. I don't know anything about that. I could only read to you what the people are saying. Good day, sir, your boss and the listeners. Last night, I think Mr. Lal was looking for the phrase, oh, what a tangle web we weave when they first practice to deceive. First, we get $25,000 in custard blocks when the smart ones got the oil blocks. Mr. Lal standers. I'm just standing, sir. I know thousands of Guyanese who are with Mr. Lal. Let's start with the signatures. So thank you. I'm going to pass that on to him. Hi, my brother. Good afternoon to you. I was listening to Glenn Lyle's show last night. Very impressed with a young journalist who was with him. That was Kemal King, I think it was. Yes. Now, if every influential Guyanese was like Mr. Lal, I truly think that the positions would have been straight. I think we should start a petition for an independent body to investigate the giveaway of the Kanji and the Kaieteur block. What Mr. Lal has said is very clear as crystal that some corrupt transaction took place. All those who were behind the deal must go behind bars, and an investigation must be held on how they earned their wealth. Leonard, please let me know when we in Tushent know about the hamper. Well, they haven't talked about the hampers yet. I think immediately after the sharing out of the $25,000, there's 90 plus thousand hampers that the government says that they will be looking into. Leonard, could you kindly update us on the progress of the court case against the elections officials who are defaulting here in Guyana, and why is justice taking so long? I want to say to you that when a matter is before the court, we can't really comment on it. We have a English system that we must follow. If we comment on it, that court case, it could be deemed as being unfair. This recording could be taken to the court and says that we're trying to influence the outcome of the case, and therefore it could be used against us also. The judge could hold us in contempt, or the magistrate. What I could tell you is that the matters before or matters concerning Keith Lowenfield, Clement Mingo, Carol Joseph, as well as former Minister of Health Vala Lawrence, they're all before the courts at the moment, and so that much I would be willing to say to you. And as it develops, we, of course, at Kaieteur News, with sister company to Kaieteur Radio here, will be bringing you the details of that. Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to congratulate the government for all they've done within the 100 days of office. When the opposition find a fault of the PPP government, I could clearly remember the first thing Granger did was to raise his salary and all the ministers' salary. I'm not sure his salary was raised, but all the ministers' salary. That clearly shows that was the only thing thinking about themselves and not the people of Guyana. I can remember clearly that Granger said he has none to give to the people of Guyana. We must go to our bank book at least less than that 100 days of the PPP back in power. And a lot of family already received $25,000 thanks to the PPP government. It is 100 days. Hi, Leonard Gildarie. I'm from Berbice. I would like to make a concerned complaint about the Berbice River Bridge. There's no police doing roadblocks and there's no health facilities for checking of the temperature and the COVID-19 getting rapid. Plus the roadblock that used to be there before, there was a protecting Berbice a lot. I would like to know if you could raise the concerns to the authorities, please. Thank you very much. I could tell you that there was an explanation given that when they looked at it, the benefits of putting those people out there, because all they were doing was checking temperature, nothing else. When they look at the cost of it, they believe that those resources would be better put to elsewhere. If they've removed the police block, I'd have to look at that. I'm not sure whether they have. I will be headed to Berbice a couple of weeks' time. I'm gonna talk to you with that. I do believe the police is needed there because plenty things. It's a choke point, and there's only one way to get from East Berbice to West Berbice, or from West Berbice to East Berbice is that bridge, and so it could be a point in which you could protect the country. I agree with you on that one there. Do we have another call on line? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. You on the air. Thank you very much. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Look, I want to make some point.
Uh-huh.
Why the government,
Uh-huh.
right, do not bridge the Kaieteur file and we can get current how much we want. Let a private company come in. You don't have to depend on bringing machine and collect money for the other infrastructure. Get thing going and let the private company and you monitor it. What is the rate? What is this? What is that? Because when Bonham was there, he had a lot of money.
Uh-huh.
The thing. But I drink it out and suppose it out and he fully pack it and carry it our country name and carry there. All these things can be done.
Uh-huh.
Get a private company.
They'd have to do, I think, to answer, I'm familiar a little with these kind of projects because when it was at Milo Falls and so on, I think there were several studies done with regards to that Mazruni area and so on.
I understand that. I know about that.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm saying, they already put the road. There are a lot of backlog. Get on going with this thing, man. Between next year they are here, you boost electricity. But I'm talking about Kaieteur, when Bona wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You get a private company. Now, NIS, when you are self-employed and you miss a payment, they send a letter to you right away. And everybody complain about the security company, them. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's NIS is a fraud. Go and Boxer should go there and get all these people and let them pay back all the back money.
But why is it you want me to tell you the reason why? Let me bust the bag. We've been talking about it, and I think I've been talking about it. Most of these companies here are fronts for politicians. You want me to say it further than that? A couple politicians, including former ministers and so on, would have had their hands in the cookie jar.
And I wanted a next thing though, that you on this radio, let the minister him housing and water and so. Have a radio. When I have spare time, they switch it on and they do their work and they go to listen to the complaint too. And they would know exactly what to do. You don't have to call them steady. You pay checkbacks one set of money there, set a knock in an office, right? Why don't he come out 2 times a week and come and visit the area when I get water? You know, till we punish water again. Someday we get it, someday we don't get it. I see.
Yeah, I know. I've been hearing, and I send these messages here.
When the PNC government was there, water was coming full. I am telling you, man, and since Evans were in between 2 or 3 weeks, this nonsense start. Right? Now, what am I do? Whatever happened there is to put blame on the government. the minister didn't work because you got henchmen who are in the parliament there. But tell if them type of worker work there, do this and do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's common sense. It's blaring, man. You know, how much you can put on the in there and this man and that man? Let's check back come you get more $3 million, $4 million a month.
I was, this morning I did try to call through. I was trying to find the PR number for GWI because I wanted to invite them over here to get Sheikh Bash and so on as the chief executive officer of GWI across on the radio program, and I couldn't find that number. So I'm gonna continue to invite them here.
A very, very simple thing. I tell something. The government pay holiday. I listen news every afternoon. I listen to your program. They're going to do the bypass road. They're going to do the bridge. They're going to do that. It's 100. You get $25,000. As the gentleman said, no government of all of me want that our money is there. And when next year come and you do a budget, let the $25,000 remain at household.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me?
I hear what you're saying.
That is the oil money that we can receive at a $25,000.
Right.
And it benefit people. You understand me?
Yeah.
And then, you tell about the old age pension. Okay, 40,000. He never say he go raise them every year by some. He said, I listened carefully, that old age pension will be getting $40,000.
Yeah.
Then next year budget come, do the thing and let the people get more. Because I tell you something, there's a lot of people who doesn't work and doesn't have NIS or doesn't have that, depend on that money just on.
Yes, and I agree with you.
And that one, I think he should have done. But I want Sheikh Bax to come out that office and sit up there. Because when he been in the house in minister, he don't like that shit, man.
I know.
I'm telling you. All right.
I take calm yourself down. You can't use those words here. All right, good. Go ahead, though.
Me at 66 year body. And me vote from the day one, me got to vote for 21 year. At that time, PPP, me daddy, me mama, everybody. Here, I know here finally where we came from. But I tell Leonard, his grandmother and grandfather live. He know me well. Because, let me tell you something, we used to go play for President Cup. Just pick up them by Leonard and they might have to pick up Spanish. And you stop at CID and they kept that time in a PYU. I tell him, boy, you're going to go far. And he tell me, well, you know, if I got to go. And I know his mother from Lagos, because she brother, and me, we come friend, but was a young boy. Telling him about school work, and when you qualify, you get this job, you can get thing. And he invite me to them place. And the very day, his mother married. And when I go there, I see, and I know his father. Right, the father know me too, properly.
All right, so you want Irfan, you want Sheikh Bash to come out and hit the road.
Come out from that office and visit the people. Look, man, this man had put a water. I had to put a shoe in there and pour water for my wife will cook. You watch 2 years.
You better do that because you're going to what happened at the end of the day.
That, you know.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's good. There for the rally.
Yeah.
The sun gone on now. They wait and start. She can sit down, can cook some food, and I can wake up by yourself, man.
All right, Uncle. Thank you very much, dear. A good day to the folks
God
down there.
bless,
Yeah.
man.
All the best, and make sure that you help the lady. All right, thank you very much. So I want to say good day to the folks who've joined us today on the Wake Up Guyana show, and it's our insurance company time now. Better value for better protection. Get your ship and cargo covered us today. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. at 121 Regent and Arnock Streets. To better serve you, you can now purchase your insurance online from the comfort of your home. Telephone 225-1787 or 269-0020. CARICOM General Insurance Company, Inc. At this point in time, let me tell you, you could send those messages, continue to send those messages to 62222, or you could call us right now because we have our lines open, 226-7453. What we could tell you is that you are tuned in right now onto Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 in Esquimalt and Demerara, 99.5 in Berbice. And if you are on Facebook, it is Kaieteur Radio on Facebook or Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. At this point in time, we will head straight back into our lines. Caller on line. Good afternoon, caller. Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon, Gildarie.
Hi, sir.
Good afternoon.
All right, sir.
Shoot to the end of my saying, you know, since the government changed the message yesterday and read it, since the government changed this water pressure drop, and this water pressure is still 12 and 1 o'clock in the night it's coming up. I want to know if it's a sabotage or is something miserably gone wrong there.
I don't know, and a lot of people complaining. I'm not sure whether this is something that's happening now or just people just complaining. But all over the country, from Annandale to Haslington to all the way up in Berbice and Parfait, Harmony, CI, all over the place, that people are just complaining about water pressure and things like that. I don't know. I'm getting nice water in Diamond Way I'm living there with. The only problem is that it comes red at times, and I know how to deal with that. But I hear what you're saying there. I'm not sure.
As shoot with the police, in your man say, man, since the government changed the water pressure drop, and this why you want to know why the water pressure dropped in the government change.
Which area are you calling from?
The front of Parfait Harmony.
That is which part? Which part in Parfait?
Schooner.
In the Schoonard area there.
Yes, but you see the fella getting effective right down to Iflutter, where we see living, and the government changes chopping this up and
I can't understand. I mean, why would government want to reduce water pressure knowing that the people can cause them? So something got to be the reason for it.
But what about, the other day when the bridge had a problem?
Yeah.
In the afternoon, you could have run through the bridge smooth. The whole East Bank Road is smooth. The authority that could fix it because the shit happened when the government changed. And I'm not saying that it's the government. It's somebody in authority and executing the job properly.
I thank you for that. We continue to raise these issues here. I'm going to continue to try to get them on this program. I could only ask them. I mean, if they don't find the time or they have other better things to do, what am I to do? But I could continue to ask and raise these issues.
I hear you, friend. You enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you very much, dear. All the folks down in Parfait, Harmony, Schoonard, Westminster, wherever you are, Lagrange, Middle Road, Lagrange, all the way for Sisters Village, Wales, Bellevue, Canal number 1 and 2. If I missed you guys, good fortune. I want to say good day to you. Plantain Walker, I think Braden Hoop, and you go down all the way Harlem, and all those places. If I missed you, Windsor Forest, how are you guys doing there? All across the west coast of Demerara. It isn't that I don't love Demerara and Berbice. You know that I'm in Demerara at the moment. I have to be respectful to those people there and know that I love you guys very much. But we have to bring the GWI on for let them tell us whether there's sabotage or it's something that they're doing to do some kind of studies. But at the end of the day, people complaining heavily about the water situation. It's not a nice thing. I think people are saying that you could do without a light, but what you see when you got to do with water, it's an issue. Water is for cleaning waters. Take a shower. And I had an issue with my my shower was not working well. I had to get it fixed because it's an issue you could do without. You have so many other things to think about. Good afternoon, Leonard. I'm from Grove. We're not hearing anything about the cricket ground in Caneville. I'm not sure about this. I'm going to probably send this to a cricket ground in Caneville. I'm going to talk to maybe the Minister of Sports here. Good afternoon. I'm the one who sent the message about the school. It's a government nursery school. You could probably talk to them for that government nursery school if they're demanding that you pay fees at this point in time. You could ask them to flex with you that you can't afford to pay it right now. If they're pressuring you, let me know back on how it goes. Good afternoon, Leonard. Correct me if I'm wrong. Revenue license fees were adjusted two-wheel cycle weighing below 200 pounds should now be $1,250. However, persons are now charged $2,500. It is previously $3,000. The weight and the wheels are considered. GRA need to review the price, and maybe you could put a letter in the newspaper. And let us just put just put it in the newspaper. Sometimes, let me just remind you, in addition to raising these issues with various places, you happen to have letters to the editors too. You have Facebook, but letters to the editors are very powerful ways. I've seen a lot of actions being taken because people pay attention to the letters that appear in the newspapers, especially government officials. When you write and you name and you embarrass and things like that, they start opening up their eyes. Hi, good afternoon. I'm not a politician, but I count myself lucky to get help from this government, the $25,000 and the past government funds for a chicken farmer. I'd like to say thanks to these people. Hi, good afternoon. I was made to understand that ExxonMobil has special flights that brings and takes workers out in and out of Guyana. I'd like to know how these people are being tested for COVID-19 abroad before they come to Guyana or in Guyana before they go to the oil field. Please tell us if government can inform the people about what is being done because the Brazilians or Venezuelans at times are being targeted as carriers of COVID-19. Very good question. We don't happen to have that. I'm going to ask my people to check into it, which is the ExxonMobil who are being flown in and out of the country so very often. People, and you guys are opening your eyes. It's a very good thing. Um, my brother, thank you very much for doing such a great job for the Guyanese people. Thank you very much. Let me see. Do we have another caller online here? Yes. Good afternoon, caller. Good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Leonard. I just want to make one comment about the water, the Guyana water. I think they had a problem a few weeks ago back in Lusignan where I think they got an electrical problem with the water system there. So that's why people in Lusignan, Monrepo, even in Buxton, Annandale, they don't got water regularly because they have a problem with the pump.
So is Lusignan, Boxon,
Annandale.
Annandale.
And Monrepo water supply, I think they're using it to help them get water over into that area, right? So that's the problem there in Lusignan and Annandale. They're not broadcasting it properly, so they don't know, right?
Is it that you get low water pressure or none at all?
Well, to be honest, I'm living in Monrepo, and the water pressure was low, but now I'm getting tremendous pressure with water. It's coming like almost 2-story high, which I never had.
Lucky.
And I'm getting it right now. The water is coming real pressure. You don't have to use the pump to pump up water to the second floor.
Okay,
right?
okay. So you're all right, but it's the other two villages?
Lusignan, Annandale, and even in Buxton, I think. Because I think Buxton have their own water plant there, right? But I think the pressure is in those areas is very little. They don't have it every day because they transfer water from Monrepo to Lusignan and Annandale. But they have a problem there where I saw Mr. Sheikh Baksh was at the site of Lusignan, where at the water plant that on the Facebook post I see he was saying that certain area would be out of water for a couple of weeks, right? So that's the problem there.
I'm not sure if they're doing some cleaning, maintenance, or whatever it is, but you need to tell the people.
They said because of the heavy rain damaged some of the wiring that got water and it burned some sort of thing. But I think there was up a couple of days. I see it on the internet.
I'm going to have to demand that they come on and let them talk to us. And if people want to know if there's something going on in their community, the GWI has to do a little better with the PR, the public relations.
So true. They need to highlight it more.
These things are very simple, communication is what causes wars all across the world because people can't talk to each other. If we start talking to each other, if you come out and say GPL or GWI and they come out and tell, look, we only have three machines only doing 100 megawatts, and the people are demanding 115 megawatts. Therefore, we have a shortfall. You hear what will happen. We got to share this power, so you're going to get 15 hours, you're going to get 15 hours. This is how we can do it. But we need to talk to the people.
Exactly. But the one other point too, Mr. Leonard, I'm living in Monrepo, and since the changes put on this new meter, right? I used to burn my lights outside in the night, and I don't be home in the day, just a fridge working in the day, and in the night just 2 lights outside lighting, and inside maybe if you're in the kitchen or in the bedroom you use the light a little bit and that's it, right? And I used to pay like 6,000, 5,000 a month, right, with a fan. And now the changes meter a couple of months since the previous government, they changes new meter. I pay $10,000 per month. I buy solar lights and put it right around my house. I don't use the electricity light to burn. I put solar lights around my house, install them, and the bill is coming $10,000 a month, and I don't be home in the day, just in the night. and I don't get the light on in the house all
Well,
night.
you
If I'm in the
telling,
kitchen,
what you telling me there is a story that everybody in Guyana is going through right now, and I don't
it's,
know the water customers of GWI, the electricity
yeah,
customers of GPL. I'm not
yeah,
sure what is going on, and these are things that I really got to get to the bottom of it. It's
yes.
difficult to prove it against because you actually have to get someone to go test whether you actually burned it or so. So it's a big
Well,
issue, but we got to
I, I,
continue.
I will rather to somebody come and check my house to see the system that I got, see the light that I got. I
Complain,
support
yeah,
my house,
complain
right?
to PUC, and
Yeah,
maybe they could probably do a test on it and see what happened.
so true.
Yeah,
And I will let you know.
thank you very much, dear sir. All the best, dear, to the East Coast people there. Lusiknan, Monrepo, Boxton, Annandale, how it is that you guys are doing? Good afternoon, Mr. Gildarie. To be honest, it's true about the water system. Every God-given day it happened here at Beefield Supply. Please help us. I don't know. Why is everybody complaining about this water? What's happening with GWI here? I'm going to call them as soon as I get downstairs. I don't know how to. Okay, let me see. God bless you, my brother. Thank God for the $25,000. Living on the West Coast. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. From Anno. Anno, thank you very much for that. Hi, Leonard. I am really enjoying the program from Mashable. Where is Mashable? Do you know where Mashable is? I don't know. Wherever it is, thank you very much. It got to be a far out area. And if you're getting you there, I'm happy. Hi, good afternoon. I'd like to thank the government for the $25,000 cash grant for Metamir Zoka Sarita. Sarita, thank you very much. Congratulations to the new government for the things that was promised. Started to happen. I'm happy to serve the country as a police. Enough love to the president and team. Want to say good day to our good members of the police force. I beat up on you every single day, especially the traffic cops, but we do happen to have some decent ones. In fact, they talked to Commander Watts yesterday afternoon, always very respectful, answers sports call. And he says, Gildarie, I asked him to put some other issues, some other officers around the Harbour Bridge here. I told him about the overtaking, undertaking, and so on. And he did indicate to me there's some challenges, but he's looking into it. In fact, he was down on the ground for a couple of days. He says they are talking. In fact, those people that are being accused of being given special. Here. This is for the West Coast people, West Demerara people. If you're in the line and you see people using the old road, Crane Old Road, the old road there on the west bank of Demerara, and they're using that to get into the lines and so on. They're saying that those persons now, the police commissioners are given like special persons. If you're working within the government system, maybe you are a minister, or if you are a doctor or something at the Georgetown Public Hospital, you could apply to the police commissioner and you're able to use that old road as a means of getting to Georgetown faster. You have that possibility, but you'd have to write to the commissioner of police. He did admit that things are going to happen from time to time, but he says it's a work in progress. He says just bear with us. We're very much aware. I was on the ground, that we're trying to fix some of the issues, and he acknowledged that there's a lot of things that are happening there, that people are not disciplined, and so he says we continue to work on it. The police located a strategic point like at Freedom Hoop at the that entrance to Parfait Harmony by Good Fortune there. So at the end of the day, this is something continuously that we are going to continue to raise with him. But I told him also get some policemen in and out of traffic that are the strategic points other than where you have them now. You need more hands or boots on the ground to be able to stop some of these vehicles who are going to be overtaken, undertaken, and creating several other lanes and creating choke points in traffic. Do we have another caller? Yes, good afternoon, caller there. Yes, good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Gildarie?
Yes, you are on to Gildarie. Could you lower your volume on your radio, please?
I don't have a radio on,
Hello?
Yeah, I don't have a radio on.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Go right ahead.
Here what happened, brother. In Puerto Rico here, we got a serious problem with this water pressure.
Where?
In Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico got a problem too.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Also, we got a problem with the roads in Puerto Rico. The LDC is not doing anything with all these big holes all by the outfall. The cocoa there.
This is the road leading to Hubu and all them place there?
Yeah, man.
Somebody did call that, and I did send that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send it back again today. So this is the Hobo. What you call that road? They're leading from Perico straight into the Baghdad area.
There's Perico Road going into Ubu.
Okay, Perico Road to Hobo. All
Yeah,
right.
and then you got two streets. You got Horses Street, and you got Peter Street.
Peter Street.
All these roads, yeah.
Uh-huh.
All these roads, deteriorating, and nobody's trying to fix it. The NDC just passing every day. The chairman.
Who's the chairman for the NDC there?
Captain Jayo. I only know him by the name.
Send a letter to the NDC chairman, to the RDC chairman, and one to Minister Niger Damlal.
Yeah, sir, but please see what you could do, man. You see,
I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it to Minister Nigel Damlal. But I want you to also do that as a citizen. You got to take some, let's start raising our voices.
Yeah, man, because you see what man, these chaps, they just relaxing till this new government gets in power, and them man making the government looking bad.
Of course, this is why I'm saying it. Sometimes we blame the government. It's the little kingpins, I would call them. I don't know what to call them, around the place that are sitting there in the office and they beg us to vote them in. And they go in there and sit down. I think one of the most vibrant NDCs that I've seen so far is the Grove Diamond NDC. There's a horse selling also. And these are places that I know, and they're really struggling. They're fighting. But they got some others. I don't know. Why would you ask me to vote you in and you don't do your work?
Well, exactly. They're making the people look bad, you know?
Yes, I thank you.
Very much appreciate every people that have in getting these things highlighted, man.
Yes, thank you very much for that, my brother.
Yeah,
thank you. So I want to say good day to the folks down there in the Perica area, these Bank Essequibo area, and the Essequibo Islands area, Fort Island, the Supernam Creek area, all those areas there. I think we're a carrier. I think even those folks would have been joining us along the Essequibo coast. I understand that the Pomeroon folks there are suffering some parts of Pomeroon with the flood waters at the moment. I hope that it's going down quickly. I know severe losses by the cash crop farmers, cassava and other things that they've lost there. I hope that you're able to pick up the pieces very, very quickly. The water goes down so life could get back to some level of normalcy there. So it's around 2:22 p.m. right now on a Thursday afternoon. It is November the 12th, 2020. We just have like about 18 more days before the end of the month. And then we in December, where Christmas, we headed straight away for Christmas. Do we have much to celebrate? Do we have anything to celebrate this Christmas? Are we going to observe Christmas, knowing how much it is that we love this country and what is it that we look forward to every single year? Do we have monies to celebrate? Is it so bad? When I look out there, people are really, really complaining. Is it a normal thing for Guyanese to complain? Is it so very bad? These are things that we have to discuss. We got to be hearing from our people. Do we have a little hope? Should we put a little hope in our hearts? Hello, Mr. Glenlal. I was told easy lesson, hard for done. An empty barrel make the most noise. Mr. Danraj is saying so. Hello, Mr. Glenlal. I think this is, I'm not Glenlal, but I'm just reading it. I support Mr. Grange. He gave the Guyanese a kite and high cost of living. I presume that's yesterday. Hi, good afternoon, Gildarie. I just want to thank you to talk about the NIS, but it's still not paying. And we did not get paid for October yet. And most people are slinging, they're talking about the Sentinel security service here. So, in the meantime, do we have another caller there? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're there. Go right ahead. Good afternoon, sir.
This is Gildarie?
Yes, it is. You're on to the Kaieteur radio. Go right ahead, sir.
Mr. Gildarie, I want to tell you something. Now, I listened this morning that they said that they complete 100 days, things being going well, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, for me, things ain't going well, Mr. Gildarie. Let me tell you why. I am a disabled person. I'm a blind person. I call the program and ready to complain to you about it.
Yes.
Now, since in the previous government, right, since this COVID start, right, I've been banging for CDC, trying to see if I can get a handful. Today, not a sweetie, right? Now tell me something from the time this crisis starts. I'm blaming this government lately. But since in the previous government, my name go down some time is at the CDC. The last time I even forgot CDC number, I hear you call the number from the year, but 2 months ago. I take the number from you and I call them again. All they're doing is take the number and ask me for address, and nobody in turn up for me. Time this thing starts, you know. It's how much months in this pandemic starts? About 8 months or how much months? From then to now, nothing no sweet you ain't get from these people. Nothing.
There's an organization that looks after persons with disabilities and so
Now
on.
listen, I didn't organize. I ain't get nothing from no organization.
Wow.
Understand? Nobody, I tell you, I don't have to lie. One, let me tell you something. I got from garden program, 94, and I was talking about my situation. And as I finished talking the garden program, like somebody was listening to the program and understand my position, the body called me and asked me which I live in. I give them direction. And the person come to me and give me a donation of $5,000. And that happened about 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
Somebody, as ordinary citizen, hear me flight on the air and come and give me that. But this government...
What are you looking for? What are you looking for, sir?
I was trying to get an answer from the time to start because I'm...
No, right about now, what is it that you're looking for? What is it that you need right now?
I need a lot of things. I need food stuff, right? That is the main thing. You got to eat. That is what I need.
You don't get any public assistance or anything?
I got 9,000 from the government. But
that's as a public assistance?
I don't get pension. I don't get an SKM pension age yet. I still got 3 more years of pension.
And you living with anybody?
Yes, I live with somebody who got their contribution for my meals.
Wow. All right. Is there any way, if I ask you to share your number with us, would you be able to do that? Because I'm sure there may be some persons here who might be more than willing to assist. That's one. And two, I want to take your number and pass it over to a couple of organizations.
Well, my number is 686.
Yes, sir.
686. 672.
672. And your name, sir?
My name is Alfred Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. And where you living, sir?
3009 Lamaha Park.
Oh, Lamaha Park.
Yes.
Oh, that's right in Georgetown. That makes it even better. All right. Thank you very much.
This is when you come through Meadowbrook and you come down at the back by the black.
All right. I'm sure that some people... So let me go back. 686-672, Mr. Rogers.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir. And I'm going to handle this as soon as I'm finished here.
Yeah, because CDC take my name down so much time.
I know the reason why I asked you about the organization is that I understood that they took on some some hampers to some organizations.
Well, I don't get nothing from no organization. I don't get nothing from it. I don't have to lie. I ain't get nothing from none of the organizations. None of the blind institute organization. I ain't get nothing from nobody.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
The thing that making I feel, right, is because every time I listen to this program and hear how much so much I appreciate in this year, and me personally contacting these people, I even go as far as telling them, as a man, if where I live in might be too far for you, come, tell me, I can get a car and come down, direct me way to come, I can come and say, get something to give me, and I can come and collect it, because I'm very much interested in getting something. Even to the end. And this happening since this pandemic started at the end. If you check the CDC here, you can see me name but 20 times I call them and they claim to put it on me. And up to now I ain't going to respond from nobody.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rogers. Stand by. Okay. And that's a very, very sad case. I think when you would be looking at what our citizens are going through and you're looking at the vulnerable in our society, the persons with disabilities, the senior citizens, single parents, these are people that you would want to target right away if there's anything. The pandemic is something that we should have been looking at. And that's why I'm very, very angry over those last couple months. For 5 months, we wasted our time in which we could have been able to target this pandemic. We could have been able to do it in a very strategic manner, in a very holistic manner. And we did not do that. What we did, we fought among ourselves, and we lost 5 months out of the lives of our people, lives that could have been, months that could have been productive, that we could have been far ahead of the game. But guess what? Being the kind of persons that we are, we don't see. We have, we have tunnel vision. We just see what is in front of us and we don't pay attention to what is going on the side. And then that is the sad thing that we have going on in this country. We have to change it. We have to change our attitude. We have to start looking at the bigger picture. What is the bigger picture here? How do we move forward? If we sit in our hands at the moment, how do we get up? How do we get? Is there something that I could help to improve the situation, or do we want to be a nation that is, looks forward to the government just to give us a handout? Let us start being proactive as well. Let us start demanding. Let us start, pushing our leaders, pushing our regulators to be a little more forthcoming, to be more, they deliver on the service, if you get what I mean on that. So very quickly, good afternoon. I'm living in Commons Lodge, have a government reserve, and there's a guy taking the place and broke up the dam. We're getting flood in the driveway. Now, just imagine what happened when my house was flood. Please address this with the city council. And let me see what else. Hi, Leonard. The utility customers should compare their old bill to current bill usage. If the consumption is the same, it means that the billing rate has increased without notification. Very good. Very, very, very good. I like this. So you would have old bills. Guyanese people like to keep the old bills. And so look at the consumption that you have right now compared to the consumption that you have then. And then if it is the same, the rate got to be higher. Then you got to ask GPL, and you could talk to the Public Utilities Commission too. Why is it that I'm paying more? Is it because of something, or is it that GPL or GWI is robbing me? I need to know. So that's a very, very good thing. So let me see here. Good afternoon, Leonard. The water is coming brown for the past 3-4 months. We call GWI. Nothing is doing. Keep saying they look at it. This is in the Eccles housing scheme. Yes, and especially if you're coming from a well. We had a well for a long time in Diamond Way. I'm living there. I think they have a treatment plant that they're now building, almost close to completion. And let me tell you this, because it's a well, there's no treatment plant. You're getting the water red because straight out from the ground to there. So maybe that's something that they need to talk about there. Good afternoon, Leonard. My concern is why security company deduct the workers' salary if they don't want to pay the NIS. The money is already small and deduct it, and they don't pay the NIS. Don't deduct the salary, worker's salary, if you don't want to pay the workers NIS. That's supposed to be it. But let me tell you, when you deduct the NIS from the workers, when you deduct it, you keep it, and in that way you have more money in the accounts. When you don't have to send it to NIS, and guess what? The NIS inspectors come, and this is a sad thing about it. You want me to explain to you what happens? NIS, they got inspectors. GRA got inspectors. The police got the investigative arm. The police got ranks. I'm making a point here. They have people, whenever they just see a company that's registered in the system, they're not paying, they're supposed to go down. Now, if you have 300 workers in your employ as a security company, you are a good customer for NIS. I'm just using the word customer very loosely here. Therefore, somebody is supposed to come up with somewhere in the system at the NIS, and I am not an accountant, or I'm not familiar with their systems as I'm speaking here. But I believe that somewhere along the line that your system would be red flagged, that this customer here is not paying. The next obvious course of action would be that you would go down to the place. If it's Lamaha Street or wherever the headquarters of that company, could I see your books? How are you paying these people? And so 1 month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed, and you're not seeing any money coming from that security company. The conclusion is, 1, NIS don't have inspectors. 2, that inspector, if they do have, they're not turning up to work. Or 3, and this is me and my narrow-minded thinking, they're taking bribes. You tell me which one it is. I just put it out there. In the meantime, we go back and we're trying to see what are some of the other numbers. Good afternoon, Leonard. From one report, no water supply presently, and high and low sometimes. The drainage system took 3 days to reduce from the yard and the street. And yes, it's all over people are complaining. I don't understand. NDCs, you need to get it down in your head. RDCs, and as well as what are some of the other authorities that they have there, the mayors and so on. They have to understand that they're there to serve the people. If you want to be there, you want to be a chairperson, you got to be walking around. The days in which you could just be there as a chairman, sit down in the office and just sign off a few house plans, those days are gone. You're going to start walking around your community now. What is affecting you, Gildarie? What is affecting you, Joshua? Glenlal, I understand that you have an issue with drain behind your road. What is happening there? You didn't start doing the job when the last time. I can't, like I tell you before. I don't know 6 people out of my NDC. Maybe I didn't take the time to find out. But they don't take the time to come around by me, and I'm at work almost 24 hours. So something got to be wrong with our system of governance and our authorities. People like Nigel Damlal got to start putting the foot down on the NDCs. Yes, while they're independent and while they're supposed to be working independent, at the end of the day, there's a regulatory power that is supposed to be exercised by the minister. And if you have a local government commission, what is it that you're doing? Are you making sure that these people are doing the work, or is it that you're just waiting for a complaint against them? I need to complain that they're not functioning, that they're not supposed to be doing what they're supposed to be doing. In fact, if you have an issue with the NDC, take it to the local government commission. I believe that I voted some people into office there and they're not taking my thing. When I go in there, they talk to me as if I'm a second-class citizen. These are things you need to raise. Do not call Gildarie and complain about it if you're not willing to fight. I can't fight for you. I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, of course we want you to call. It's a Wake Up Guyana show and we want you to call. But I want you to wake up. You must feel anger in the system. Feel it in your guts, as Glendale would say. Start waking up, waking our people up. They want to take this country to the next level. Start doing the right things. Start working for the people. And I sounded like a politician there, but it is what it is. You should get angry when you have people there doing nothing, sitting down there doing nothing. Before we go back to the lines, Mr. Gildarie, in 1992, when the PPP went into office, there was someone working at the GPL sabotaging the system. Same thing happening now. I don't know whether it's sabotaging. I hope that's not the case. Good afternoon. I have a concern that I want you to air on your program here at Tuition Housing Scheme. The people them that sharing the COVID-19 relief, they're not sharing it to the people that are tenants. They're telling me that I have to fill out a pink form. And they're not even filling it out, and they don't give me any money. The same thing with the opposite neighbor. They went to the downstairs tenant, $50,000 for the 2 families in the same flat, and telling the upstairs tenant they can't give the tenant. They have to fill out some pink form. I'm weary receiving complaints like this, so we need to have some answers coming out from the people there. Good afternoon, Leonard. May Allah continue to bless K News. I saw overjoyed listening to Glenn last evening. He was so eloquent when advising his fellow Guyanese about the corruption linked to Kanji and Kaieteur. We as Guyanese in the diaspora are so fortunate to have an individual like Glenn expose the satanic acts of those corrupted individuals that have so blatantly destroyed the dreams of Guyanese. Sir, when will Guyanese politicians learn that we are the laughing stock of the world? Do we have another caller online there? Yes, good afternoon, caller. You're in the air. Go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, Leonard.
Good afternoon, sir.
I listen to your program and you hear the complaints about the NDCs and people like them. These people doing the government work, but they're doing a lot of private work on the side where they're getting paid. Now, for instance, if you want a plan draw for your house, or you go to somebody that is not working in there and you carry it in, it always got a problem.
I want you to name the NDC. Which NDC is this?
I'm living in Castello. I don't know who's my NDC, but I'm just
Where you live in?
In Castello.
Castello Housing Scheme. I think that's in Georgetown.
Right in Georgetown.
Georgetown City Council is in charge of you there.
Anyway, they had... whenever you want to, you have to get somebody in there. These people sitting down, right? They ain't coming out. They're sitting down in there, and they're going to draw your map, your plan, and you've got to pay them, right? Then they will push you through. If you see it take a little too long, you get them a little topper back again, and they're going to pass it. If you go to a private person, you don't get through. So these people are working, collecting government money, using their cardboard, their printer, their ink, and everything. And then they get in the extra money on the side. I know because it happened with me. Another thing, we know Guyanese like to complain. I agree with that. But this morning I'm not complaining about everything because I'm getting water, I'm not getting blackouts, and we are not flooding. And that could be the flooding part is because of the Sussex Street Trench. Our water drained very fast. If a couple of yards just get a little water, quick time, within an hour it drain off. So that's good. And the water, yes, sometimes during the morning hours it might gone, but you'll be getting in the yard. But in the house you mightn't get. But if you wait around in no hurry, it can come.
Yeah, baby, I hear
Right?
you there. Uh-huh.
So I have nothing to complain about water.
No,
like
I'm glad.
some-
Actually, I like to hear good news and when people are positive and, give kudos where kudos are supposed to be. So thank you very much for that.
Yes, I had some other points, but I'm trying to get you so long, I can't remember. So, when you're getting old, you don't
No,
remember
you're like
all
me.
these
I just
things.
can't remember. Some days I flip. So some people be calling and I really try. You know what I do? Because so many people calling, I try to address the matter right there and then because there's so many, literally scores and scores and scores. It's difficult. Someday I wonder, am I really working at a media house or I working for government? They got to be that I working for government.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, we got look. I have to check you out now and see if
Yeah, you gotta be, yeah.
paying you. Your government paying you too.
The funny thing is, I'm being paid as a reporter downstairs. I'm being paid as a reporter downstairs. We have not taken anything for this radio. The radio hasn't made any money because I now think they now start taking advertising dollars. I have not received a cent for it. But the good thing about it is that I love doing what I'm doing because of people like you. So I want to thank you very much for that.
A quick thing. I listened the other night to Critic. Your good friend. Sometimes he's really get me mad, but sometimes he's got a point. I listened to him the other night with this man, Manny Paul. Boy, if Manny Paul carry to court or the station, you're done for. That man could lie. Oh my God! I have not one truth and come out to this man's mouth.
But let me tell you this: if they got anybody could tell stories about other people in Guyana, make it with a straight face and make it sound funny as the Guyanese, and you're one of them.
I tell you, I listening to this man, and I say, my God, you see, videos will go on, and this man telling you back to the front. He trying to convince you there wasn't it. Anyway, he was talking to his friend Critic, and Critic was able to tell you, he's all right, you lie and this and this. Hey, that show was so nice. And then last night I looked at Spang, Global Spang,
Yeah.
with Critic again on it, and Jonas and Schumann, and so I look at those programs.
Thank you very much. It's good to keep yourself up to date, and I'm glad that you tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show. Have a pleasant rest of the
Every
day.
day, waiting for Friday. Can't wait for Friday.
Yes, my
Can't
dear
be
friend
bad.
Yog is going to be with me tomorrow. He was in the studio with me, so I do intend to poke him a little. Thank you very much.
Anyway, bye-bye.
Yes, you're there too. So I want to say good day to Mr. Critic. How you doing there, sir? I haven't seen him for a little while. So wherever you are, whatever it is that you're doing, so Wake Up Guyana show, we have less than about 15 minutes to go on the show, and we would want to open the lines in a very short while again. In the meantime, let me see if there's some other messages that we'd want to read to the people. Good afternoon, sir. With a $25,000 cash grant, I heard an adventure sand. On the Essequibo Coast, people collected more than what they should have. I know we are all in need, but we should be honest. Thank you very much. I think it was a regional executive officer in Region 2. Region 2, it is on the Essequibo Coast, who would have admitted that there's some dishonest people in Region 2 there. And I can't understand. I would expect something to be tried once in a while, but when you hear an official admit that that our people are dishonest, it makes you think differently of them. So I want to say that I'm really disappointed in some folks there in Region 2. I hope it doesn't spill over to other regions, that you go in one place, collect another place, and then two persons within one family. I hope when they catch those people, they make them a public example for making a fool of the system. And you're taking away bread out from somebody else's mouth because it could go to a family that badly needs it. I don't feel too happy with complaints being given with some of these people going downstairs, giving 2 people downstairs and then don't go to upstairs. How do you do those kind of things? If there's a system, there has to be a system. And consistently, day in and day out, we're hearing all these kind of things. Come back to the fact that the complaints about the people, and I've been saying this, I've said this many times before, and there's an issue that I have. We would stand up on stages and we'd stand up during campaign times and we share out a lot of flyers and we print and we put on green t-shirts and blue t-shirts and red t-shirts and we go around to the people every election time, whether it's a local government or something else. And we beg and we talk about Gildarie. You see Gildarie there? He's a councilman. Ask him what he has done for you. But right now you're in the office. What have you done for the people? It was JFK that once said. That was the former U.S. president. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. What have you done for the people lately? So, you as people, as we go forward, the next elections, whether it's local government or whether it's the next general and regional elections, you got to start asking yourself the right questions, the hard questions. Is it that I'm voting for the party that my parents voted for? Or I'm voting to make a change in my life for the better? You got to ask yourself that. I can't ask it for you. And you got to decide at that point in time whether it is something that you want a better country, you want smart people, you want decisive people, people who have the will to improve this country. And we got to be very, very clear. We happen to have a government in place, but make sure that you push them. Do not sit and allow them to dictate to you what it is. Whether it is your people, whether it is your councilman, whether it's your councilwoman, whether it's a chairperson that you like, it could be a family. If they're not doing the work, light the fire under them, light the fire under the foot. You tuned into the Wake Up Guyana show here. Do we have another caller online? Yes. Caller, good afternoon. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
I want to know where the region 4 is starting to get 25 services.
Region 4, we have not received that information yet. When we get it for Region 4 and Region 5, I'm going to put it out on air.
But it is Region 4 like a state child.
Yes.
That's like it is a real child.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna raise those issues so to get that information. I'm going to tell it to you.
Yes. Sorry.
All right. Thank you very much, Zir. In the meantime, as we come down to program time, let me tell you that you are tuned in to the Wake Up Guyana show here on Kaieteur Radio, and so we are going to be back tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. sharp, and Dr. Yog Mahadi and myself, we are going to be here. And we are going to be sharing with you some of the things, maybe reminisce a little. I think WRE has come in, but he isn't talking to me today, maybe because he believes he's going to ask me about the Diwali or something coming Saturday. But I have plans for him. I have serious plans for him on Saturday. So it is always, when they say, old people in Guyana got an old saying, when you do, got to do back. So I got to do back for W.R. Riaz and what he's done to the people of Guyana and to yours truly, Leonard Gildarie, over the last couple of weeks. We're going to be talking about that. Do we have another call in the area? Yes, good afternoon. We missed that. And so let me see what are some of the other calls. Yes, Leonard, like I flat not get a $25,000. I'm not sure which area. I don't happen to have these not take. I don't even know.
What I'll tell you, I'm coming to Diamond on Friday.
On Friday, I'm not going to be home, so I'm not sure when you're going to be in Diamond.
Listen, I will be around in Diamond a little bit late, so I'll just stop by you, so you could. I'll take the stuff as you prepare it. I'll take it early. I'm
going to tell you that Saturday is going to be Diwali. The second
Friday,
thing is
Friday. You gotta start preparing on Friday.
The second thing is I have three
like
dogs.
How that
I have three beautiful dogs in the yard,
no,
and I think
coming in the yard. I waited by the gate.
Yeah, they're really friendly creatures.
Like how that gentleman was helping with the water that was driving here and coming. He was helping. I think you will be helping in the house making the stuff. So I'll come. Let me see. What time you coming?
I'm going to have a conversation with my dogs, and you could come. You're welcome.
What time are you coming off on Friday from work?
It's going to be very early.
Oh, very good.
So it is the Wake Up Guyana show, and just for a little humor there with WRE, as you will be joining him in a very short while. Congratulations to the new government. The things that they promised have started to happen. I'm happy to serve the country as a police, not to the president team there. Hi, good afternoon. Should you tell me where the people right now that's sharing the money in the area that they are right now? I'm not sure where they are right now. Look, the government, I think maybe because of security reasons or so on, they are not putting out where these people are going to be because they're walking around with a lot of cash there. They have security with the police and so with them. They have not been coming out with a statement. I'm not seeing in the newspaper which area they're going to be. I think the NDC are playing a role in announcing which areas they are visiting on that particular day. It's very difficult. What we do know that they're in Region 3, Region 4 and Region 5, they're not in at the moment. I understand they're putting together the teams who are going to distribute in Region 4 and Region 5. In the other regions, while I won't use the word complete, they have started the process in those regions. I understand there's some unresolved issues, lots of unresolved issues with regards to tenants, etc., especially who have not received. And so in the meantime, what I would suggest that you do is get on to your city council, to the Ministry of Finance and so on, to the NDCs and talk to them and find out where these groups are. If you missed it, you were not at home when they passed by, that's how you take it. If you've signed up a pink form, they have not returned to the areas yet. I understand that the cabinet or the ministers them have to make a decision whether they go back to the house, when they go back and so on, how much they're going to pay and so on. That those decisions have to be paid. So in the meantime, we happen to have a couple of minutes. Maybe we could go very quickly to the calls. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon, sir.
I was listening last night with Mr. Lal.
Yes.
You see, always tell you since the election, what? That man is a democratic man, you know. He sides with nobody. He want the people of Guyana to be right.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. Look at these things, this Kaieteur Black and what these people do with that place. According to
Kemal King,
right?
Yes.
What he said, he's right, because the approval got to come from the head of state. And that never happened. So this head of state that we have could object to that approval. And we can win it. I look over to the matter.
All right. Thank you very much.
And,
yes.
Next thing, that child that go to Barbados for medical attention. I understand he died. But that thing happened right at Grove. And they move out from that area.
Well, they have not been able to conclusively say that that it was that case there. But it is a very sad situation.
It's very sad.
It's very sad. Nobody wants. I'm not sure. I've seen people lose a child, and one of the things that I've always dreaded, it's a nightmare for me. It's I don't want my kids to die before me. Never.
I tell you, it's really hurtful, but
no, I don't want that to happen.
This thing never happened to Barbados. This thing happened right at Grove.
Right.
They move to Barbados, you know, for let nobody this side must know what's going on.
Well, I don't want to put my mouth there, but the police are continue to do the investigation.
People can tell you, understand, but
yeah.
I tell him about the police now on the road.
Right.
Well, I call in to the Minister Ben. The secretary answer me and tell me, let me go to Kovanjan. If I pay in a minister to do me work, why must I go to Kovanjan?
Right.
You understand what I tell you? Everybody's sleeping. Mr. Ben cannot do that work. When Mr. Ben was with the PVP before, you know what poor people how he break down? And he carried them away. Oh God, them poor people. If they break down, the people out and left it there. We would have said something. But you break down how many carry. What do you do with them? You tell them. Poor people don't respect Mr. Ben as a Home Affairs Minister, sir. Sir, Mr. Ben is not nothing to do with police. He's going to side with police. I'm telling you this. Mr. Ramjatan was more serious than him. I tell you, that girl going to tell me today that I must go to Kuvanchan? Huh? If that Inspector Henry, CID Inspector Henry, tell me he must give you $50,000 that he don't investigate my matter, why must I go to Kuvanchan for? Now the minibus them is 4 in a seat, and the police them they're right at the stoplight. Though you got stoplight, you got police there too. And the police them don't watch the bus, they don't watch what's going on in the bus. So this thing really, really hard. Let Mr. Roxenben go to this police station there, man. Like a day in the office. I
agree with you.
To him.
All right.
Visit the people them. He can there in the, look how Irfan. Irfan going all over this country as the president. He put them now for help you out, but them there in office sit down.
Thank you very much, dear sir. Have a pleasant rest of the day.
You too, my brother.
Good. Thank you. So I want to say I'm really sorry with that. We're coming down to program time now. And let me just read a couple of messages very quickly. Good afternoon, sir. The people that do the registration for the $25,000 in Esquibble register people at the workplace and at the homes too. Thank you very much for that. I'm sharing it. Dear sir, the coveted $25,000 is now in the canals number 2 pole. The teams are doing a fine job. Do not hear of any problems. Thank you very much for that. Goodbye, Leonard. Somebody says, good day, my brother. My brother, everybody is talking in Guyana about the flooding, but the Guyanese people are not doing the part because some people still throw away the trash in the canal drain. On the road, sometimes these people need to be held accountable for their actions. So thank you very much for that. It's a Wake Up Guyana show here with your host, Leonard Gildarie. It has been a good 2 hours, less than 2 hours that we've been with you. And of course, every single day, all of our folks have been with us, keeping us company, encouraging us as we go forward. We are going to be back with you same place, same time tomorrow. If you've missed the program or now joined us and you have internet, it's on Facebook as well. You could look at us on Kaieteur Radio on Facebook, and you could have a review of the program, or you could watch it back. Or it is Kaieteur Radio live stream on YouTube. In the meantime, have a pleasant rest of the day. Wear your mask, keep safe, protect yourself, keep the environment safe. Do your duty as a citizen of Guyana. You have that right, you have that obligation. Until then.
COVID-19 tips sponsored by Dex Soap. 1. Practice social distancing. 2. Wear your mask when leaving the house. 3. Wash your hands regularly for 20 seconds using our Dex soap. 4. Cover your nose and mouth with a disposable tissue or flex elbow when you cough or sneeze. Choose Dex soap for that extra cleanliness. Dex soap is affordable and available nationwide.
Weak systems of governance and the absence of the rule of law both